We hit 250% growth this quarter. No,
That's incredible. The strategy is working.
this rapid growth trajectory confirms the timing for the IPO launch is now. The valuation holds strong based on these numbers. To go public, the company partners with investment banks. These experts help structure the IPO, set the price. Next, the company files detailed documents with regulators. These disclosures ensure transparency. Finally, the big moment arrives. The company goes public, shares begin trading, and investors rush in.
Hello viewers, you must have got some idea after watching the video. Now we'll try to have a detailed explanation of IPO. Now in this video we try to understand what is IPO, why a company goes for an IPO, what is the process a company need to follow for an IPO, and which companies generally provide this particular IPO services, and the technical terms which are used in the IPO. So this will be the agenda of our discussion. Now first we try to understand what is an IPO. IPO means initial public offering. So the company offers shares to the public. Now first step, this is considered as a first step to stock market listing. Now when a company goes for IPO, a private company converts into public company. So why do companies go for public? Nothing but why a private limited company want to convert into public limited company. Now the first important thing, to raise capital for the expansion. So they expect public to subscribe for their shares so that they can raise the capital for the business expansion. And the second reason is to reduce the debt. Then the third is increase brand credibility. And the other one, provide exit to early investors. Now these are the major reasons for the companies to go for public. Before IPO begins, now there are certain major important things which need to be considered. The first one is strong financial performance. The second one, corporate restructuring, compliance readiness, and growth story preparation. Now these are the major elements which a company need to consider before they go for IPO. So strong financial performance, they need to make sure that there should be a very encouraging Y-on-Y growth in their financial performance, and if requires they need to do the corporate restructuring, and they need to be aware about all the legalities for IPO. So it means they need to be ready for the compliances, and they should also prepare a growth story. Now what is this growth story? They should design their pitch so that by using that particular pitch they can convince the prospective investors. So it means where the company will be reaching in a span of 5 years, 10 years, who will be their prospective clients, how the company is planning to develop their business. So these are certain nothing but they need to prepare these kind of growth story. Now who are involved in IPO? Normally in the IPO, investment bankers are involved, legal advisors, auditors, and regulators. But investment bankers plays a major role in a company IPO. Now what is the role of investment banker or a merchant banker? Now these merchant bankers are considered as lead managers of IPO. Now they do pricing, and they also do valuation of the company. They also do the documentation, and they also plans the marketing issues. It means how the company need to market their IPO issue. Now these are the major role of a merchant banker. Now if you see the top IPO advisors, Goldman Sachs is there, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, ICICI Securities, and Kotak. Now these are some of the examples, or these are nothing but the major players for IPO advisors. In addition to this, there are more companies, there are more investment bankers which are ready to guide the companies for their IPO process. Now these merchant bankers perform due diligence. Now what is due diligence? They do financial verification. Financial verification means they review the financial records and financial statements of the client. Then they also do legal checks. It means they do examine the contracts and the required compliances. They also perform risk analysis. They try to identify the risk and they also assess that particular potential risk, and then they also do business validation. It means they confirm the growth projections and efficiency of the company. So merchant bankers help the company in filing DRHP. DRHP filing is nothing but draft red herring prospectus. Now they help the company to submit it to the SEBI. Now generally this particular DRHP consists of the business plan, the key management of the company and the key financials of the company. So in this particular thing no final price is mentioned and this is considered as a public disclosure document. Then they also help the company to get regulatory approval. So SEBI reviews DRHP which is submitted by the company, and SEBI ensures the transparency. The main objective of the SEBI is to protect the investors, and SEBI approves the IPO launch. So the next step in IPO is IPO pricing. So IPO pricing is done either on fixed price or book building process. We try to understand this book building means. Then the price band is decided on the basis of valuation and on the basis of demand estimation. Now when it comes to book building, now what exactly this book building means? Now book building, investors bid for the shares and price discovery mechanism. This is nothing but a price discovery mechanism. As I mentioned, the investor bid for the prices and also demand plays a major role. So demand determines the price and institutional participation is there in this particular book building. Now book building is nothing but a process followed in order to estimate the price of the IPO. And the company goes for IPO roadshows. The company presents their business plan to the investors because they try to build the demand from the investors. They try to attract the institutions and they also do global marketing so that their IPO will be a bumper success. Then IPO opens for the subscription. Retail investors applies. Subscriptions window opens. The subscriptions will be the applications is accepted both online and offline. Now after the subscriptions there is a possibility of oversubscription or undersubscription. So generally this is something which mainly focus on demand versus available shares. So if there is oversubscriptions it is assumed as high demand. Under subscriptions generally it is considered as low demand. Now this is considered as a market sentiment indicator. Once the shares are subscribed, the next process is share allotment. So the basis of allotment normally generally it is on the basis of lottery for retail investors. Proportionate allocation, if it is oversubscribed, the company also prefer to go with proportionate allocation, and if any specific shares are not allocated, then the company initiate the refund amount. This refund amount is payable for unallotted shares. So finally after this the listing day comes. The shares are listed either in NSE or BSE, that is National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock Exchange, and this will be considered as the first trading day, and there will be a comparison between the listing price versus issue price. So a bell will be rung on the day of listing. If you see the listing performance, if there is a listing gain, it is considered as profit. If it is, there might be a possibility of listing loss. Generally the gain or loss is driven by demand with rising market indicators. So market sentiment will also impact. So the listing gain or loss plays a very major role in the company's journey of IPO. So there are certain key terms which we need to understand, like issue price, lot size, GMP, cutoff price. So issue price is nothing but at what price the shares are issued to the public for the subscription. Lot size is nothing but always a company comes with a minimum number of shares need to be invested by the retail investors. There is a specific separate lot size for institutional investors as well as retail investors. And GMP is nothing but grey market premium. Grey market premium is nothing but the extra price which the investors are expecting to quote over the issue price before the final listing and the cutoff price. Now these are certain key terms which we need to know. So if you see the IPO risk environment, there is a overvaluation, market volatility, business risk, lock-in period. These are certain terms which are connected with the IPO risk. So if you see the IPO journey, first it starts with idea, nothing but conceptualizing the business model, valuation, then it goes with DRHP, so approval from the SEBI, nothing but filing the prospectus with the regulators and receiving a green light, nothing but receiving an approval from the regulator. Then the subscription starts, then the allotment, investors apply for the shares and the shares are distributed among the investors, then listing of the stock in the stock market and the trading begins. So viewers, this is the journey of IPO. Now this is a kind of dream for every private limited company to go for an IPO, and even for retail investors and even for institutional investors, it is a dream to get an allotment in IPO, because generally nowadays most of the companies which are going for IPO, most of the companies are oversubscribed. So it is generally a kind of luck factor to get an IPO allotment. So this is about the journey of a company in IPO. Thanks for watching my video, and I request please to subscribe my channel so that I can do more videos connected with finance and accounting. Thank you very much for watching the video.